Um, I've heard a lot of times, and I'm sure you have as well, that cash is king. Anyone ever heard that before? Yeah, I don't agree. Have you ever been in a slump of your business, or you needed a bit of cash and your confidence is shot, or you're just low in confidence? How hard is it to get that cash? How hard is it? Anyone find that hard? Yeah. See, I remember back in, it was 2008, late 2008, global financial crisis time. And I was 33, married. I had 2 children under 2 then, sitting in a nice little shack up in Sawtell in Coffs Harbour. And it was pretty cool. I thought I was, Freddie Mercury. I was on fire. And I had $1.6 million of assets as a net worth. If I sold everything up and paid off my debts, that's how much I'd still have left. A few months later, I was less than 100. And I was shattered. I had 2 young children. I was trying to provide for my family, and all my investments, I thought I'd get smart and buy all these houses and to provide for my family, and that was my superannuation. It wasn't a very good plan. So what did I do? Probably like what you'd do as well. I worked harder. I thought, shit, I've got to get myself out of this. I can't be a bad model to my children. I've got, whatever I do, they're going to copy me. They watch you like eagle eyes, don't they? Kids from here all the way. And, at this stage, very quickly, I was going back $20,000 a month. So there was $3,000 coming in from our business. And our business was almost making $1 million profit. And we could only afford $3,000 through this period to pay out to us owners. So $23,000 of outgoings, and most of it in investments that are now crap, and I was in a bad place. So do you reckon that's where confidence grows? No, it was pretty hard times, and that's why I think that actually confidence is king. Cash flow's queen. They're married, okay? If you're going to grow your business, if you're going to have a life, you only get one of them. You've got a beautiful family, you've got to take care of them. We've got to concentrate on the critical things. And for me, confidence is king. Cash flow, secondary. Profit, that's another story. We'll talk a bit about that, okay? So, now I know that confidence and cash go hand in hand. You can't just work on cash, you've got to work on that confidence. And that's the thing you can control. Now, how I know that, let's forward 6 years. I was 2014. My wife, she's a beautiful love machine from Zimbabwe, and she says, let's sell everything up and go travelling around Australia in a caravan. Seriously? Okay. Wow. Okay, well, what am I going to do with the business? Oh, no, you just keep operating it. Oh, cool. It's easy for you. Thanks so much. So, longer story short, we did. Everything we had, except white goods, beds, some books and mementos, and some clothes, we sold, threw away, gave them away, and we drove off in a caravan. And I'd never driven an Articulator. I've driven big trucks and all this stuff, but trying to park one of those buggers, like 28 feet, they're big caravans, 3 bunks. And we travelled Australia for 2 years. And it's pretty awesome being able to see Australia through a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 10-year-old's eyes. The way they see the world versus me. And being a father who worked a lot of hours in the past, seeing them actually develop and live with them so intimately for 2 years, it was an amazing experience. And in this life of simplicity and travelling and freedom, one minute I'm on the phone with a client in front of a beach, next I'm in the outback. I was just all over the place. It was sensational. My confidence was really strong. And do you know what actually happened? What did we do there? That's going to be freaking you out, Simone, won't it? This is what actually happened to my business. So while I was away, I worked no more than 3 days a week. And those days, probably a big day was 5 hours. I worked about 33 weeks a year, okay, because that's what I'd committed to a client. So I've been servicing the accounting industry for the last 8 years. And what I brought in cash-wise into my business, into my personal side of things, was $333K of cash. Who thinks that goes all right? Anybody? Yeah. So that was my year. And so what I called this was the Big 3 lifestyle. And, I'm only sharing this story with you because I'm not saying everyone needs to sell up and go and do that, but I'm saying is that when you come from a place of confidence, when you're feeling confident, when you're feeling strong, it's amazing what you can create. And the Big Three lifestyle is now what I focus on helping businesses do, and it's really, really cool. Today I'm going to be talking about a little small sector that you can get right to do it. But after I did this for a couple of years, so I've lived it, it's not just theory, I've lived this. It took me a little while to get sorted. I got home, and within a couple of months, we found our dream farm. Not our arm, I've got two of those. Okay, bought our dream farm, and I'd worked on cattle stations, and I've worked out on farms, but I've never had my own. I never even had a pet. Not that it was mine, you know. So in the last 12 months now, because of this lifestyle, because of this confidence, and because of my knowledge of the numbers and stuff, I've been able to buy the farm, and now I've got bloody 33 steers. I think I've got 5 chickens. I've got a couple of dogs and got a couple of rabbits with, I think, about another 10 coming through the chute, if you know what happens. So it's been a pretty big vertical learning curve, but it's been a heartwarming thing to get it right, to get my confidence right, to get the cash flow right. So important. And what I want to do is start to share with you guys how you can start that journey. And I did send out some pre-work questionnaires, and thank you for the people that did fill it in. You'll get the benefit at the back end of the second presentation today. So knowing your numbers is a really important thing, because when you get it wrong, or if you don't know it, you look pretty stupid. Does anyone ever feel that way about numbers and finances? Is everyone a guru? Put your hand up. Okay, sorry. Did I say hand up or did I say arm up? Arm up. Put your arm up so I can see you clearly. Do you like to tango naked? No. Oh, yes. Oh, look, everyone. Oh, that's amazing. Fantastic. Right, that'll be in the break, led by Phil. Thank you, Phil. Lucky Phil. There it is. Good stuff. Naked tango. Right. Not sure how to do that one. Bit of boot scooting maybe. Now, not knowing your numbers can be really embarrassing. That was the question. You know, have you ever felt embarrassed by that? And I remember back in 2004 when I started business coaching, so 13 years ago, I went into this global franchise. I was a Bush commercial pilot before that. Strange transition, I know. And I went in there and I just got all these clients. I just smashed all these records. It was pretty crazy. But my third ever client, Peter Bosch, sacked me after 4 months. And he goes, mate, you're an awesome life coach, but you're a shit business coach, mate. You got no idea about the numbers, do you? I'm going, yeah, I know about landing and taking off and stuff, but no, that's something I've got to work on. And he was right. You know, it was right. I knew the basics, but I sort of just knew to look at P&Ls. And I was a business coach, and that's why 99% of them are crap. Did I say that loud, Phil? Yeah. You're an accountant, are you? Yeah, I bet you he is. Yeah, he's looking at me with those eyes, like, yeah. Okay, so what I did is I went and actually really learnt numbers, because, you know, when adversity happens to us, we can only react in one of two ways. You know, we either cry and go in the corner, feel sorry for ourselves, or we put a smile on our face, come out punching and become great at it. Can anyone relate to that? Well, that was me, because I was so embarrassed. I had all these other clients and shit, I'm hopeless. So I learned it all. I worked with a CFO for 6 months, and I'd learn all the stuff. And what I learned over that period and over the last 10 years is what simple critical things to look at when it comes to finances. So, you know, Stevie said, oh, can you come up to Wollongong and teach them about, you know, financial systems? I go, well, shit, I'm sure I'll be pretty popular. So, but today's actually not really going to be about just a finance boring one. Okay, I'm going to teach you some finance stuff, but this is more about how you should lead your business. Okay, I'm going to teach you from a leading the business side of point of view, and it's going to have a financial sprinkle. So, is there an accountant? There are accountants in the room, aren't there? And bookkeeper? You too? You, Heather? You're a beautiful creature. You're the first one to send us through. I loved your work. She sacrificed herself in the questionnaire, said, just give us whatever you can. Give it to everybody else. You're beautiful. Okay, so there you go. So so let's get on to this finance side. Now, what's the 3 things that I'm going to give you today? Let's have a look at that. Can anyone read that? Yeah. So first thing I'm going to show you is a different, but it's a simple way to look at business from a financial perspective. Of the questionnaires that I received, the startling thing that I saw is the people that responded were either playing tricks with me or didn't know what the 3 financial statements were. And if you don't know the scoreboard, it's pretty hard to drive the business in the way you want. Does anyone think, how many people, or just genuinely, who thinks that this would be a pretty good result to create in your business? Like, just show me your armpit hair. Okay. Or your shave rash. Now, okay. So there's a few of you. Okay, so I'm not talking to people okay, so it's not blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I just want to show you a way to look at it so that you can create your version of that. I want to show you 7 things. Now, Stevie said, look, I'm a master of 2 hours, he told me. Do you believe me or not? Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah, he did. He said, hey, T, can you show them, if they were going to put 2 hours a week into finances, like focusing on their finances in their business, just 2 hours a week, what should they focus on? So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to show you 7 things you can do, okay? And then for the people who actually filled out the pre-work questionnaire, I'm going to give you some practical strategies that you can put in place tomorrow. Enough fluffy stuff, you can actually do it tomorrow. How's that sound? Sound all right? Yep. Rightio. So we want a little bit of participation, a little bit of fun. Now, my mind goes all over the place, so I have this little structure here. I go, now what do I say next? Right. Okay, so that's what that was. So when I work with a business, when I start with a business, I do it a little bit differently. I look from the inside out. I look from the core and work my way out. Because if you get that right, everything else works, right? So what if I ask you the question, and I'm asking you to participate here. I know it's a strange concept. It's after lunch. Wait till I get you up on the table and do come on. So I've done that all over the world. If I ask you the question, what's the most important part of your body, your human body, the one you reside in? Lucky? What do you, heart? Yeah? What's your name? Chris. Chris says brain. I'm so glad men haven't answered what they're probably thinking. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. What's your name? Feet. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Yeah, and we know what that means, don't we? Big shoes. Big shoes to fill. Yeah. Lucky. Okay, so most people say the heart or the head. Oh, sorry, the heart or the brain. Heart or brain. I'm all over the place. Now, what is the heart protected by? The rib cage. What's the rib cage attached to? Spine. It's interesting. What's your brain protected by? What's the skull held up by? Your spine. What makes the actual brain work? The nerves. What's the nervous system protected by? The spine runs through the vertebra. Okay? So what's the common theme here? The spine. The spine's critical. Anyone here ever had a bad back? Put your hand up if you had a bad back. Okay. Now, just be really straight with me. How does that affect your performance? Does it go up or down? Sorry? Makes it harder to work? Yeah. Brain function okay? No. It works okay, but you've got that lingering thing. When you're back stuffed, it can affect the way you move your limbs. Is that true? See, when I look at a business, your business has a spine. It has a business spine. This is something that I've learned and created by going deep into businesses for the last 13 years. It actually has a business spine. The brain and your heart is like your marketing and your sales. Okay, it's the thing that everyone thinks is the most important, and that's what you focus on, and it is bloody important. But if you don't have a strong spine to hold everything up, you know, take the spine away from your body, you become an amoeba, like a jellyfish. Okay? Pretty hard to operate and pick up the chicks that way, isn't it, Phil? Yeah? Right. So, the spine's split up into 3 sections. That's the way it's supposed to look. You got your cerebral, you got your thoracic region, and you got your lumbar region, right? Your business spine has 5 elements. you have a thing called a clarity plan. Always worth writing down. Now, the reason why you are a business owner and not an employee is because why? You want to have control over what? Everything. Yeah. Sure. You could be. I've got Donald Trump in the room, maybe. You want control over your life, and the things that you can determine there is around money, time, and money. And the way that you use those two things together determines your net worth, okay? All the decisions. So what your clarity plan does is define where you are now in time, where you are now with your cash, and where you are in your net worth. And what it does, it identifies where you are now and where you want to be in 5 years. Well, why the hell would we do that, TT? You know why? Because if I asked you, how big does your business need to be? Like in 5 years, how big does it need to be? You'll pluck a number out of your rear end, and I'll go, but why? Why does it need to be that big? To provide you with what? Because we don't actually ever think about that. We're just thinking about that heart and the brain, the marketing and the sales side, okay? But what this shows you is, well, what do you built it so you have your freedom. Well, what the friggin' hell does the freedom look like? How much time would you want? How much cash does that actually look like? How would that affect your net worth? What does it need to be in 5 years? I've worked with accountants, teaching them this stuff for 8 years and then teaching it onto their clients. Teach it forward. You know, we've got to use our accountants a lot more than what we do because they've got some good financial knowledge. They're a bit sometimes, but I promise there's cool ones. I've got real cool ones, okay? Because they can help you with these numbers if this is what you struggle with. You're the guys with accountants, aren't you? Yeah. Accountants are cool. Oh. You know what accountants? Accountants are cool. I've been working with, they're awesome. So now what this does, it tells you, okay, what your business needs to do. Do you think it's pretty important that we know that as a business owner? Absolutely. That's why we always say, let's get your vision, right? Once we've got the clarity plan, what we need to do is then create a strategic plan. How many pages should a strategic plan be? Yeah, sorry, that's right. Good answer. What's your name? Yeah, the one that's almost asleep, yeah. Daniel. Yeah. So Daniel, you said 1 page, didn't you? Yeah, that's right. That's the right answer. Thanks, Daniel. You're on fire. The strategic plan needs to be 1 page. Why? Because if it's anything more than that, it's a load of fluff and rubbish, okay? If you can't explain it to a 7-year-old, you're kidding yourself. You're not clear. You're joking yourself. Your plans for what needs to happen over the next 5 years to achieve this, okay, this tells you what you want. This tells you how you're actually going to achieve it in 1 page. It becomes your decision-making filter. It tells you what direction you're going. It helps you employ the right people because it friggin' costs so much to hire the wrong person now, doesn't it? It's horrible. So take the time to get it. Once you've got your strat plan, okay, it's really important to get your 10 hats right. So it's like an org chart on steroids. I'll show you a bit more about that in a tick. Okay, because this is how, but then you go, well, this is the plan. It's like what Stevie's saying with his 6 model. It's this a little bit differently. But this is more like geeky. His is cooler, right? This is who. So this is what the business needs to do for us. This is how we're going to do it in 1 page. And this is who's going to do, who's responsible for what. 13 years of working business owners, you talk too much in the doing. We need to talk about who's responsible for that. Who's responsible for debtors? Who's responsible for that lead generation? Oh, no, we all do. We all do it. And oh, great. Okay, so when shit goes down, who do you go to? Who's really focusing on achieving this? So the 10 hats is there because if you don't actually map that out, again, you could hire the best person, but they won't know what they're responsible for, and you'll lose them because you're not clear. Okay, cash flows, accounts, bookkeepers, woohoo! You need to have a really clear cash flow, and explain to you why, okay? What do you pay your mortgage with? Profit or cash? Cash, correct. Yeah. How do you, now you need profit to generate cash. Okay, I'm not saying that. What do you pay your food with? Credit card. And you clear that with profit or cash? Cash. There you go. So cash is really important. If there's one scoreboard you're going to look at, this is the one, okay, to keep score. The last part of your business spine is what I call your systems design. Okay? How the hell did I work only 3 days a week and 33 weeks a year? Oh, that's because you do that coaching thing. That wouldn't work in my business. Really? I've just had a builder do it in 12 months. I've got a couple of accountants doing it. Even a Kiwi accountant. I mean, that's weird. I thought all they could do was play rugby and stuff, you know. But a Kiwi can do it. I've got a plumber halfway through it. How the hell does this work? I've got a retailer that does it. That's interesting. Because if your anatomical spine in your body's out, I don't care how big, how strong, how old, how young, how overweight, how fit you are, it will affect your performance in a negative way. Is that fair? Okay. So if your business spine is nice and strong, your marketing and sales will be strong. There are 9 symptoms of a business getting out of control. There are 9 of them. I can actually, if I gave you the symptoms and answered them, I'd tell you which one of these things are out. A bit like a chiropractor. Okay? So that's how I look at business. That's where I start from, and we deal with the sales and marketing, all that stuff on the outside. But that's called the business spine. What's it called, everybody? Really important to get it in place because this will build your confidence because it'll make you ask questions you don't ask now, okay? So once we've got that business spine, can I just have a drink of water? Is everyone going to be uncomfortable with some silence for 5 seconds? Okay, let's go. That's better. Rightio. So once we've got that, let's go into that 10 hats for a minute because Stevie wants me to talk about finance today. So there are actually 11 hats, not 10. How many? Sorry? 11. Rightio. So you've got 2 hats that are strategic. Now when I say strategic, everyone sort of hides behind that word. It's a bit of a wank word, right? But what it really means is plan. Okay? So the 2 hats you wear is a shareholder and a director hat. Okay? When you start a business, you become a shareholder. Now, don't get technical accountants and whether it's a trust and all that sort of gear. In essence, you own the business, you're a shareholder. Your only function as a shareholder is to provide and collect funds. That's the only reason you exist. A director is a separate set of actions and focus and acumen you need to carry. Your main function when you're a director and the way you need to think when you wear this hat is what's the direction and strategy for this business? Because if the business goes down and you go bankrupt, who gets the kick in the butt? The shareholder or the director? The director. But most small business owners, we don't think that way. We think that this is all in one. They're not. They're 2 different things. If you don't know the difference, yeah, let's have a go. Could get yourself in strife. Okay? The first, operational hat. Everything below this line is operations, okay? This is where you do stuff in the business. This is where most of you guys will think. There's 9 under here. Now, the reason why I say 11 hats versus 10, this one here, you probably wear once or twice a year. That's it. This one down, you'll wear all of them monthly. And if you don't do it consciously and knowingly, you will in a reactional way. And that's when you say, sometimes you have those days where you go from 7 in the morning to 7 at night. You've barely had time to have a wee, have a feed. You get to the end of the day and you go, shit, what have I accomplished? You ever had one of those days? You just worked flat out? That's typically because you're reacting to the other hats, right? So, leadership. So, once we start a business, we say, I'm a business owner, this is the type of business, this is our plans, rightio, this is the person responsible to run it, yeah? So we have to go and generate some leads. So we'd wear what hat for that? Everybody? Marketing. Two different things. You wear a marketing hat to generate leads. That's your whole purpose. Once you generate the leads, what have you got to do then? What are you? Aaron? Sir, dickhead. Oh, sorry, sir. What? Come on. So we got lucky and dickhead. That's cool, eh? Right. Sorry, no, it's just jokes, brother. I know you can handle it. Marketing, sales, yeah? Now, once we actually make the sale, we've actually got to go and do the work, don't we? So you've got delivery. Now, I'm sharing all this stuff for you here, Heather, because remember you wanted stuff to teach your clients and stuff? This is some of the stuff to help, okay? Generally, that's why I listen to what you want and I'm giving it to you, okay? Got the plan. We generate some leads. We convert them over. We actually do the work. Do you reckon we should get paid? Yeah, okay. Well, let's put our finance hat on. Beautiful. Now, there's all this stuff that has to be done in the middle. All this, they're like the glue of a business. And there are admin people, aren't they? So that's the admin hat. Now, obviously, if you're going to have a business today, we all have automation, don't we? Because that's how social media operates, isn't it, Melinda? Yep. So there's an IT section to our business. Whether you're a tradie and you've got an iPad or a computer, or how do you correspond with your financial software, you're going to need some sort of IT. So you've got to have some understanding from your IT. If you're going to hire people, even give yourself a holiday and the like, you've got to have a HR, human resources sector to your business, do you not? So how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. God, what's the last one? No one will guess it. It's called product development. Now, this is where we think. This is where we innovate and improve our business. This is where, when we've had a crap day and we just want to get away from the business, this is where we go in our mind as we go down the beach for a swim or play the didge, in the bush. Just go and think, okay? You're in product development time, I bet you any money, yeah? So they are the 11 hats. But today, what we're going to do is we're just going to focus. I've been asked to focus just on that. Now, I teach people this and actually help people create their 10 hats for their business live over 1 or 2 days. And I've done that in Australia and New Zealand for the last 4 or 5 years. And the surprising thing that blew me away is how many hats do you reckon that most business owners wear actively with consciousness at a reasonable level? Yeah. What I found over all these businesses was between 3 and 4. And what were the ones you reckon people wear the most and know the most? What do you know the most? What do you put your attention into mainly? Yeah, marketing you do, tick. Sales you do. I mean, Stevie Dixon's a gun at this stuff, so he's teaching this stuff, so you should be, right? Delivery, you all know how to do your stuff, don't you? We got any tradies in the room? Oh, how did I know, eh? How did I know? What do you do, mate? Everything. Oh, God. So you're the new tango dance instructor? Yeah, okay. Stop it, Bruce. Okay. So rightio, delivery. So you know how to build houses, right? So that takes up a lot of your everyday week, isn't it? Is that true? And you'll do marketing. So these are the hats that most people wear. The reason why a lot of businesses fail, small businesses fail, and why a lot of accountants and bookkeepers scratch their head and go, what the hell are they doing? It's because they're not wearing this one. The least understanding of any hats are those two and this one. So today's presentation I've designed, I think I'm stealing yours there, sorry Stevie. I've designed today's presentation, I'm feigning to go through here, but I'm actually trying to help you here. Is that okay? So that's where I'm going to try and help you. So let's have a look at what thing did I promise to give you today? What's the first one? Do you want to knock that one off right now? Anyone bored yet? Just put your elbow on the desk if you're bored. 1. You're on your phone, that counts. That's 2. Yep, cool. Rightio. Go hard or go, grow hard or go grow hard? And is that what it is? Grow hard or go home? Grow hard. What is it? Grow hard. That's cool, I like it. Now get off your phone. Right. So, a different simple way to look at business from a financial perspective, okay? This is every single business, I promise you, okay? Every single business. And I've dealt with farmers out in the bush. I've dealt with, city folk. Don't like them much. Wollongong's pretty cool. I like this, okay? Every single business, every business starts with a thing called, pardon my Afghani Hebrew for you. Rightio. So every business starts with, everybody, assets, okay? Now, when people think of assets, they think, oh, well, if you're a builder, you've got a ute and ladder and power tools, okay? They are tangible assets, things you can touch. Service providers have assets as well. What is it? Intellectual property, your ideas, okay? Every business has them. What I've actually discovered in 13 years is that most people actually way underrate what assets you've got. You have that many latent assets, you're just missing out on these income streams. And I'm going to show you how and why, okay? You all start with assets. Now, your job as a business owner, as the shareholder and the director, is to organise those other hats, right? To use these assets to generate a thing called income. Yes? We understand what I'm saying? Yeah? Anytime you generate income into your business, what will you naturally incur? Expenses. Yeah? Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. So, let's do some really, because I make everything hard, right? I'm not that smart, so I actually make everything simple, okay? So, if you've got your income and you take away your expenses, what's left over? Profit. There you go. Jeez, you guys are pretty good at this finance stuff. Okay. Unfortunately, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Accountants, is that where most business owners stop? If they get to there, they go, oh, okay. Ever looked at your P&L, your profit and loss, and gone, no, yeah, 200K, made profit, cool. How much is in the bank? Oh, I've got an overdraft of 10K. Anyone ever done that before? You're making profit, but the cash is down. So that's the thing is that your job is to turn this profit into cash. One of the simplest things I get business owners to do is replace the word money with cash. It has a completely different feeling. Don't say money anymore. Say cash. Not like dodgy under the table cash, but think about it from cash, right? There is a difference. There's a massive difference between this and this. Massive. Remember right at the beginning, who's tried to generate it when your confidence is low? It's hard. This is, if you're making profit, okay, there's only 3 places that cash is hiding. 1, it's in your debtors, like people who owe you money. Or it's in, I'm just going to abbreviate it here, work in progress. It basically means that if you're billing out, you've got a job that takes a period of time and you're receiving little bits of money, the expenses are ahead of what you're bringing in is a simple way of doing it. There's work that you've got done that you haven't built out yet and you should have built it out faster. And here's the other one that can be confusing for people. That's where else it's hiding. It's stock. And you go, I'm a service related, but I do social media. I don't have stock. Yes, you do. You have a lot of stock because what's this? You've probably written programs. There you go. That's one version of it. But there's things that you would have done 3 years ago that made you money that you no longer market or you no longer do, but it's sitting there, and quite easily that could be regenerated again. And we've all got ideas like what Steve did. What was it? Bigham or Wigham or what was it? What was that thing you just did? Wybe. Okay? That there is potentially a brand new what? Everybody? Everybody. It's potentially a new asset, okay? And if you just go and do the work and the like and just leave it sitting on paper, to me, okay, that's stock that you should be turning into cash. That's the way I look at it. Does that make sense? So when you've got cash, there's only 3 places cash can go in a business. You can go and buy more assets. You can decrease your debts, or my favourite one, you can pay yourself. Who likes that one? Okay? That is how your business runs. Every single business here, this is the financial geeky version. Is it that hard to understand? Said it that way, it's pretty easy, isn't it? So, your job as this person here, what does that say? Okay? Your job is to turn this cycle as fast as you can. Does that make sense? So therefore, if you had one KPI, you really got to look at return on assets. How quickly can you use the assets you've got? How quickly can you afford to get new ones? How quickly can you finance new ones to generate more income, to turn it into profit, to turn it into the cash? Okay? So then you can either pay yourself, pay your debts down in assets. I see owners all the time who are carrying overdrafts and loans and debts, and this is how they walk. And they got no cash. But they're putting a smiling face on. They've got some brand new advertising and marketing, but their spine's well out. So they're back. They're almost paralysed on one side, and that's because of this. So what I want you to do is focus on these three things in your finance time as a quick snapshot. So I can't go to the other flip chart. So what are the three financial documents that we have? Jeez, I was struggling here. I'll put it on here. We'll just make it messy. What are the three financial documents that you look at as a business owner? Yeah, P&L, which is a profit and loss, okay? P&L stands for profit and loss. Yeah? What's another? No, accountants and bookkeepers, shh. Okay? Balance sheet, well done. We're doing it in reverse order. Excellent. There's one more. What is it, everybody? Oh, you beautiful creatures. Absolutely. Okay. Who reads or sees their P&L? Put your hands up. Okay, that is the least important out of all three. Who looks at their balance sheet? Okay, some of you, that's good. Who has a week-to-week cash flow that shows all your income and outgoings on a week-to-week basis where you can see the past, you can see at least 6 months ahead? Who uses that? 1, 2, maybe 3, 4. Okay. This is your number one, guys. This is, remember, that's part of the what? What's it part of, guys? I'll just go here. The business spine. It's an absolute critical one. This is where you've got to focus your attention. Now, how much time have I got, Meg? I still got half an hour. I'm cooking with gold. No, 20. He said 20, yeah? Whatever. Steve's show, he'll just stop me when he wants me to. Right. So why do we look at a P&L for? Let's go from what's a P&L consist of? Because at the end of the day, I know you probably don't want to do this geeky financial scorecard stuff, but if you don't know your scorecard, if you don't know which one to look at, when to look at, or what the hell to look at, how do you know if you're making the right decisions? Does that make sense? So, what's a P&L? Why do we look at a P&L? What are you looking for? What's in there? Yeah, so you got your income, or sales, yeah? You got your cost of goods, okay? So write this down, a cost of good. Don't listen to an accountant's definition. This is the simplest way, okay? A cost of good, okay? It's not from their textbook at university. A cost of good for us, layman's, is an expense that you incur as a result of a sale. Keep it that simple, okay? So I'll be buying myself a new flip chart, right? But I need that for presenting. So, cost of good, right? Now, you got your income, you got your sales, you got your cost of goods. The end result of that is what they call a gross profit. So gross profit really is the money that's, and you can write this down if you're interested. Gross profit really is the money left over to pay your overheads, okay, or your fixed costs. So you got your fixed costs, FC, fixed costs. Some people call them overheads. Accountants like to split them up and have direct costs and overheads and all this sort of gear. I'm just keeping it really simple, okay? A fixed cost, now here's a very simple definition for you. A fixed cost is a cost that you incur whether you open the doors or not. Very few pens are writing, so you must be bloody good or you've got a freaking awesome memory. Okay? That gives you an operating profit. It's not your net profit. Okay? Now, typically, this is just hypothetically, or not hypothetically, but it's just a basic rule of thumb. It's not always the case. If you're less than $1 million turnover, typically your profit and loss and your cash flow should be the same. You're on a cash-based accounting system, right? If you're greater than $1 million, you'll be on accrual, okay? So what that means is that all the numbers that go in this are based on your invoices. It's irrespective of if you collect money. So that's why I say P&L typically is a theory-based projection, but a P&L, it doesn't really give us cool information. I'm going to come back to you again in a minute. What's a balance sheet include, guys? Does anyone know? 3 main categories. Assets what? What's the difference between liability and expense? The sunk costs. Yeah, for capital costs, that's exactly right. Yep. So when you go and buy stationery, is that a liability or is that an expense? Expense. So what's an example of a liability? A repayment on a loan for a car, loan for a truck, loan for whatever it may be, okay? But this is really important. This does show us some cool things. And then your cash flow. I actually want to this is the simple formula. You can create your own spreadsheet here. All you do is you get your opening balance from your bank account. Yeah? You add all the cash items that have come into the bank. Not check butts, nothing. Just whatever's in the bank. Take away your cash that's out, whatever expenses you paid, and that will give you a closing balance. Okay? This is the critical one. Okay? Really, 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 really. Yeah, so opening balance plus cash in minus cash out, closing balance. Okay? Who's yawning now? Shit, this is now it's near 3 o'clock. The carbohydrates are really loaded in now, right? So, remember I told you I'd show you something, it's a simple way to do it, right? So this is a business from a financial perspective. Your profit and loss only shows you that much of your cycle. Your balance sheet pretty much shows you the rest. That's pretty important, isn't it? Balance sheet, but you're not even looking at it. Don't know how much you're paying yourself really properly. Are your debts going down? Are you getting more assets? Because remember, the quicker we do it, but if you're not looking at the balance sheet, how would you know that? How would you know? Your cash flow. Well, as I said, if you're $100 million, that's going to show you all of this here. Okay? It's going to show how you're impacting this. It's going to show you if you're buying more of these. It's going to show you how you're paying yourself. It's obviously going to show you cash. But a lot of people, when they think cash flow, they think, I'll just run the business by what's in my bank account. Does anyone have like BAS payments monthly or quarterly? Yeah. Annually? Yeah, we all do, right? So therefore, when you look at that bank balance, are you thinking in your head of that payment you're going to make in a week's time, 3 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time, 8 weeks' time, or are you just looking at that? Typically, people just look at that amount. I had a tradie one time, and he had $60K in the bank, and he needed to get a new ute, blew its engine, whatever it may be. And the clown went and bought a car. He went and bought a ute. And he goes, well, I had $60K, I just bought it. And I said, mate, what's happening in 3 weeks' time, mate? Oh, shit. Haven't looked at my cash flow a couple of weeks. Yeah, you got that big GST payment coming up and your instalment at tax. Oh, God. And what about, you've got that account that comes up every 30 days, the one like from Bunnings or Masters or whatever it bloody was. Oh, and he bought it because he didn't think through it. You don't run your business through cash, through your cash at bank, okay? Run it through a what? Everybody? Run it through a cash flow. So what I want you to do is start thinking about this. See, I want to see if you actually get this. Can you guys see where the different... I mean, it's so clear and simple. It looks like Mr. Freaking Squiggle, doesn't it? Right? But at the end of the day is, can you see how the balance sheet tells you all that, the P&L shows you that, but the cash flow shows you the bulk of it, yeah? Cash flow is so important. It's why it's part of the spine. So I have to go back this way now, sorry, because we had an engine failure, didn't we? Hey? Cash is the king. Rightio. So let's just say that you guys are really smart, all right? We'll just pretend, okay? I'm going to get huge rave reviews here now. Am I just joking? Just playing. Okay. Profit to cash. That's where you need to focus your time. Profit to cash. Can you guys say that? Profit to cash. There's 3 areas. What are they? Where the profit is, where the difference between the profit and cash, the 3 areas. What are they? Okay, but you're too smart. You've got to stop now. Okay, thank you. Because the other guys are sitting here and they're going, I haven't written anything. I have to check my phone. And they're missing out on a little piece of gold that's going to help them. What's the question? Where's Simone? Because she speaks Spanish. She might have a better chance up here. Oh, it's all right, I'm just playing with you. What are the what are the 3 elements? Like you've got profit and then you've got cash. Where's the 3 places that cash is hiding if you're making profit and there's no cash? Debtors, work in progress, and stock. Okay, right. So that's beautiful theory, Trent. I don't know all your businesses here. I know we've got a Dig Guru. I know we've got a kayak. Who's the kayaker? It's just starting the new kayak business. Yeah, cool. Awesome. I know we've got the Reiki Guru. Yeah, beautiful. We've got Reiki. We've got social media legend as well. And we've got the KISS. Oh, stop it. Give me a kiss. I think it's keep it simple, isn't it? Keep it simple, accounting and bookkeeping. So they're the business I know that I've read. So let's look at what could you do. You tell me, because I need to know where you're at. What sort of strategies could you use to clear stock, to reduce WIP, to clear debtors? What could you do? What do you do now? But what does that mean specifically? Yep, okay. So what do you do about that? So what are your real strategies you do now? So you obviously don't have debtors? Don't have people at startup phase, okay. So really it's about stock getting out. So what do you do to get the stock out? You just focus on, okay, cool. So market some of your asset out there to start the process of marketing, sales, delivery, finance. Yeah, so just think through your 4 hats there. Cool. What else do you do? What do you guys do to clear debtors? Anyone have debtors here? People who, yeah, what do you do for that? Like what? Give me an example, a real practical example, because somebody here could learn from you. Right, okay. So what you send invoices early? Yep. Okay. So that helps you with the cash. Great. Well, good girl. What's your name, mate? Danny boy, give it to us. Yep. Yep. Yeah. What do you do? Printer? Okay. And why don't people pay up front all the time? Yeah. And why do you do that for? Is that what you inherited? Yeah, right. And so, again, I'll ask you, why do you do that then? Because they want to do it. Yeah. It's really, I'm glad you said it because that's why I was just asking you, because that's why a lot of people have their trading terms that way. Because that's what the previous people did. Oh, because that's what the clients want. Stiff shit. Who's paying your bills? Oh no, but that's what the building association says. You can only do a 5% deposit. What a load of crap. Or 10, is it up here? 5-day only what, mate? 5-day to pay. Okay, your trading terms, 5 days to pay. Yeah, now that's part of the building code, isn't it? Is that part of your building contract, or have you amended that? Your Master Builders Association, that's right. How many times have you enforced that? Exactly right. Yeah, and every freaking builder it's a good threat, and every builder says it. Okay, and this is the point. Okay, I do this thing called a 90-day cash challenge. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll guarantee that you'll put $30,000 of cash in your bank account in 90 days over 5 one-on-one sessions with me, right? And the main thing I'm doing there is questioning what and how you do it and making little changes. And you open up all this cash. You go, holy shit, where was that? It was sitting right in front of you, okay? Because the other day is I've got to build a client at the moment, and he's doing about 700, 800K, little renos and stuff, the odd key home. And I've just taught him a couple of things about what to say differently through the quote process and what to measure and the like, so that we can get the cash and sort things out and get a better margins. It's not like 800K of sales in the last 6 weeks, It was pretty cool, okay? But just by changing it, I said, but he goes, oh, no, I don't need to say that because it's in the contract. I said, how many people do you reckon read it? And I said, and why put 18% there? Because it's a threat. You're not even going to follow through. Best thing you can do is just stop work until they pay. I had a builder who came and fixed a frame for me, and it was about 2.5K. The actual door itself and the like was about $1,600, and he had to get me to sign stuff. And he goes, "Yeah, I'll bring over the invoice for 10%." I go, "Why would you do 10%?" He goes, "Well, it's building code, it's just Master Builders Association." I said, "I couldn't give a crap about that." I said, "You bring me over an invoice minimum of what that door's going to cost you, because you've already ordered. You're going to pay for it before you put it in, then wait for me to pay you." He goes, "Yeah, that's how you do business." Really? If you asked your 7-year-old daughter, "Is that a good way of doing business, Dad?" What would she say? "Nope." "Why do you do it that way, Dad?" "Oh, because that's what everyone else does." "Oh, so is that why we don't have any money and can't go on that holiday, Dad?" "Yeah, because I don't have the balls or think through it." "That's right, darling. Sorry, sweetheart. Yeah, enjoy your bread and water for dinner." Now, I'm dramatising, okay? But the thing is, don't have that stuff if you're not going to follow through, okay? Yeah, that's right. And look, if anyone works with me, nothing triggers in the business. No systems trigger out until the payment's in the bank, because you're not committed until then. Monthly fee. That's right. And there's different strategies. Like, you're all not that far away from a lot more cash. But the thing I want you to say to yourself is, say it now out loud. It's my business, everybody. Oh, far out. Jesus fucking Christ. I didn't say it in Portuguese. Okay? You ready? It's my business. Okay? I set the rules. I can do what I want. Legally. Exactly right. Okay? But whose business is it? Mine. Set your own freaking rules. Mind your own, exactly right. Okay? Your job, remember, is to bring the cash in. That's what you pay things with. And there's a lot of little things that you're doing that's preventing you having the cash. And when you don't have the cash, what happens to your confidence, dudes? That's it. Why don't you? Get them to do it pay in advance, PIA. It doesn't happen in my industry. Bullshit. I got a boiler maker, and 75% of his work, this is ferret boiler making over in Perth, if you think I'm talking crap. Okay, it's about 10, 11 years ago now. He still calls me every July. Him and his wife, Anne, will call me and thank me for what we did in the first 3 years. And his major clients were Komatsu and WestTrac Caterpillar. Does anyone know those little companies? The tiny little global frigging conglomerates? What do big corporate conglomerates, what are their payment terms normally? Whatever they like, 90 days. Yeah. Yeah, Ben's business was about 1.2 mil and he had debtors of about 800,000. Ugh. He had 6 or 7 guys on payroll, struggling as hell to pay the bills. What the hell are you doing, Benny boy? Oh, they don't pay. Well, let's fix that up. Not a word of a lie. 7 weeks later, Komatsu and WestTrac Caterpillar agreed to pay him every 14 days of invoices. So every 14 days, I think it was the 14th and the 28th of every single month, he got a direct debit or direct deposit from WestTrac and Komatsu, 2 massive global corporate entities, changed their whole trading terms for this little $1 million boiler maker in Perth. I know, but Trent, it's not possible. See, my business is unique. Oh, give me a freaking break. If you can turn around corporates, okay, it's just about the positioning. The first thing is to value yourself. It's your freaking business. That's why I just want to teach you this stuff. Because then you've got the control. What should you do in your 2 hours? Focus on turning your profit to cash. Focus on generating cash. Focus on changing your trading terms. Focus on dealing with people like this. I'm going to show you straight after the break what it is. But are you okay if I come from the place of take care of you? Is that okay or not? Are you okay to actually go, you know what? Maybe some of those things I've always done didn't quite work, are not quite working for me. Maybe I should have a look at them. Anyone keen on that? All right, cool. Do you want to break me up or? Okay, so these are okay. One of the things that I want to offer you that I drove up today, one of the things I wanted to offer you today, I have this thing called, I've got it written down for you. It's the 31 secrets, okay? And I'm not flogging you and selling you all this bloody rubbish, but I'm just going to tell you about it because it's the truth. It's something based on what you're responding. It's this, okay? The 31 secrets, how you pull cash into your business and end your financial strain. I'm going to show you this address later, and if it's something you want to have a look at, what it is, it's actually 31 actual strategies that I've actually put in place in my business and put in business in all these other businesses that's actually turned things around and generate them cash, okay? What I want to do after the break is just show you some things to do in the 7, and then I'm going to actually start telling you some of these things. Is that okay? And we'll just talk through them so that we don't... These are okay, but they aren't the sign of someone who actually feels that this is my frigging business. I set the rules. That's not that. That's like, oh, can I get paid? Can I do... No, man, shit. You guys frigging take all the risk. You've chosen to spend your life being a business owner, an entrepreneur. You know, we get smashed by the government. We get taxed heavy. It's bloody hard for us. So I'm here to say, okay, let's get some real strategies that you can do and turn this thing around so it works in your favour, okay, so that you can actually get that cash and you can live your version of the Big 3 lifestyle. Is that okay? Cool. Shut up, Trent. Come on, Steve, let's do your thing and then we'll break.
Give them a round of applause.
They're half asleep.
I don't know if they're half asleep. I actually think that was pretty good. And I think everybody was just giving that